Well, today is National Hospitals Against Violence Day. It's unfortunately something that doctors, nurses, and medical staff often have to deal with in the workplace as they treat patients. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Caitlin Nuclo is live at Bristol Hospital this morning with more on their campaign. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning, Nicole. Yeah, unfortunately, the folks who work here in the ER are on the front lines of this many times. So later this morning, Bristol Hospital is going to outline some of the steps they're taking to make sure that their hospital staff is safe. Protecting the people who work in hospitals is a growing concern as they treat and try to help patients who may be combative or under the influence of drugs and alcohol. In the past, we're told there have been a number of instances where doctors and nurses at Bristol Hospital were assaulted by patients in the emergency room. Bristol Hospital says it has adopted a no-tolerance stance on violence, and they hold safety huddles every morning where staff members can bring up issues that happened over the last 24 hours. Hospital officials say it's not only about making the ER safe for staff, but for other patients as well. And they're going to outline those steps at 10:30 this morning. Stay with us throughout the morning show. We're going to have some live interviews with hospital staff about the impact of all this and the goals of this campaign. We're live in Bristol this morning. Caitlin Nuclo, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Happening today, it's National Hospitals Against Violence Day. It's something doctors, nurses, and medical staff unfortunately have to deal with too often in the workplace as they treat patients.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Caitlin Nuclo is live this morning at Bristol Hospital with more on this campaign. Good morning, Caitlin.
Good morning. Yeah, the folks who work here in the ER are often on the front lines of all of this. So later today, Bristol Hospital is going to be outlining some of the steps they're taking to make sure that their staff is safe. Protecting the people who work in hospitals is a growing concern as they treat and try to help patients who may be combative or under the influence of drugs and alcohol. In the past, we're told there have been a number of instances where doctors and nurses at Bristol Hospital were assaulted by patients in the emergency room. Bristol Hospital says it has adopted a no-tolerance stance on violence, and they hold safety huddles every morning where staff members can bring up issues that happened over the last 24 hours. Hospital officials say it's not only about making the ER safe for staff, but for other patients as well. And coming up in the next half hour, we're going to be speaking with some folks who work here at the hospital about the goals of this campaign and the impact of it all. We'll have that starting at 5:30. We're live in Bristol this morning. Caitlin Nuclo, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, it's 5:49 and happening today. Today is National Hospitals Against Violence Day.
It's something doctors, nurses, and medical staff often have to deal with in the workplace. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Caitlin Nuclo is live with the mobile newsroom right outside Bristol Hospital. Good morning, Caitlin.
Good morning, Eric and Nicole. Yeah, it's something that many folks at home might not realize, that folks who work in an ER are often on the front lines of all of this. And to talk a little bit more about it is Kurt Barwis. He's the president and CEO of Bristol Hospital. Thanks for being with us so early in the morning.
Thank you for being here this morning, Caitlin.
And this is really an important topic that you were saying needs to have awareness raised about it.
Absolutely. This, the AHA has declared this Hospitals Against Violence Day. We've seen an increase in the number of assaults on our staff. There's been significant underreporting over the years. I mean, that's part of the problem. This is all about building awareness, awareness throughout the communities that we serve, and engaging our providers in reporting and making sure that we follow through when assaults occur. Supporting our staff means, you know, so if they have to show up and they work with the local PD to press charges, it means paying our staff when they actually go to court, helping them in terms of giving them time off to go. And it's really about working together as a community to try to figure out how we can, in fact, make it safer for our healthcare workers to be here. I mean, you know, there's a national shortage of all kinds of allied health professionals. The last thing we want to have happen is that people don't go into this profession because they're afraid of assaults. You know, it's not something that you do and expect to be assaulted, right? So. And
just quickly, I know that some of these things you've already put into place. You're announcing some more steps today. Have you seen them working?
We absolutely have. You know, there's the other thing I would say is there's tremendous costs associated with this. So we've added additional security. You're going to hear more today about the steps we've taken internally to make our building, our facilities safer. added panic buttons, things like that. We do extensive training of our staff. All hospitals do. They work very hard at de-acceleration techniques. They go through a process of when assaults occur, of kind of stepping back afterwards and saying, well, what could we do differently? How could we possibly have avoided that assault? How could we have calmed that patient and avoided the situation? So there's a lot of things going on.
All right, Kurt, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it, and we'll be hearing more about this effort throughout the morning. We're live in Bristol. Caitlin Nuclo, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
6:13 a.m. Today is National Hospitals Against Violence Day. It's not something we necessarily think about unless you actually work in the hospitals and experience this. And many doctors, nurses, and medical staff, they often have to deal with this in the workplace as they treat their patients.
Yeah, just doing their jobs. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Caitlin Nuclo is live this morning. She's at Bristol Hospital and has more on this campaign. What can you tell us, Kate?
And Eric and Nicole, that's the whole point of it. A lot of people don't think about this. So today is really about raising awareness. Jennifer Foss, the Director of Nursing Operations here at Bristol Hospital, is with us this morning. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about the dangers that your staff faces in the ER.
Sure. Thank you for being here. On a daily basis, our staff are verbally abused, assaulted. So I really appreciate the awareness. There are a myriad of different patients that we care for, and being a nurse on the front line can be very, very challenging. Our goal every day is to give our patients the best, safest,
protecting the people
care
who
that
work
we can.
in hospitals.
But sometimes the abuse that we face on a daily basis is very, very difficult.
Yeah, and you have put in some things in place in the last few years, and I know we're talking more about what you'll be doing today. What have you seen in terms of, has this stuff been working? And
absolutely. I think the first step that we needed to do was make an assessment. So we started with a heat map to see where our nurses and our hospital staff were most at risk, and we discovered that 5 p to 1:30 a.m. was the most difficult for our staff. That was where we had recorded the highest number of assaults. So we started with putting an extra security guard in place to keep our staff safe, and we've seen a dramatic decline, almost by 50%. However, we know that one assault is one assault too many.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time today and for the work you do in the community. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Caitlin.
And we'll be back in the next half hour. We're going to talk to the police chief about all this, so stay with us. We're live in Bristol this morning. Caitlin Nuclo, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thanks.
6:37 a.m. now. Today, hospitals are trying to raise awareness about the violence that their staff sometimes experience while they're on the job. It's a day known as National Hospitals Against Violence Day. And Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Caitlin Nuclo, she's live at Bristol Hospital this morning. Kate, you're going to tell us about a campaign that they have, right?
Yeah, and it's something I think a lot of people don't think about, the dangers that the staff faces in the ER, and this is really a community issue as well. So Chief Brian Gould with the Bristol Police Department is with us this morning. Thanks for being with us. Tell us, you're working with the hospital on this, right?
Yes, that's correct. Well, first of all, thank you for being here today to help bring awareness. Yes, this is an issue that's going on all over the place, and we have a great partnership with the Bristol Hospital. Back in 2011, they passed the law to help these first responders with penalties, and it's a felony to assault a person given health care, so which is really important, because I think there's a misbelief out there that it's part of the job, and it's absolutely not part of the job. These people are here trying to help you, help me, help everybody, and it's just not right that people come in and abuse them and think that they have the right to abuse these people when they're trying to help you. So the state has put legislation in place to help with that, and us with the Bristol Police Department, we've been partnering with the Bristol Hospital to help train their staff on some things to look for and how to de-escalate, as well as come up with some workplace violence policies and procedures, and part of this collaboration today to get that awareness out there.
And Chief, you touched on it quickly. It's not just here in Bristol, it's all over our state, all over the country. Hospitals are dealing with this.
Hospitals deal with everything. I mean, they're seeing it all. Everybody comes into the hospital looking for help, and they come in all different types of conditions, alcohol, drugs, you name it, and they meet with some pretty violent people, so they have to have protections in place, and we're here to help with those protections.
All right, Chief, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it. Obviously, this day is about raising awareness for all of these things, and later this morning, Bristol Hospital is actually going to outline some of the steps they're going to be putting in place to make sure that their staff is safe. We'll have more on that throughout the day on WFSB. We're live in Bristol this morning. Caitlin Nuclo, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Caitlin.